Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We saw Seven Deadly Sins fall into that old trap of falling down in Game 3. They let their pride get the better of them. It was in the name, and despite a draft that had confused, titillated us over here on the caster desk, Seven Deadly Sins did fall out after a monster carry performance out of a number of members of role swapped INCA turn.
It's like a fun for half the family. You've heard of fun for all the family. Now it's about making half of it just not enjoying it at all. And one thing which I loved about INCA Turn's comp is that they just had very, very easy to press go buttons.
Oh yeah.
Something which they played well around with the Jarvan, but then they didn't have the easy follow up. You know, Ari didn't quite work on that kind of sense, even with the Jarvan, just because like it's just couple of steps needed to be done before you can put down your damage. You have to dash forward and then hit your skill shots. Lux just presses R on the target that's been CC'd. And Caitlyn can do the same thing. It's point and click. There are plenty of ways you can make this follow-up work. So even the Amumu's really good with that. You have that. There was some huge Curse of the Sad Mummies in that game. And the Pyke just cleaned up house. And Raging Platypus has probably been the guy with the most intense cleanup duties in this game. Yeah, we had the Jarvan, had the Fizz, had the Pyke as well. Some very diverse picks, but really need to be keeping some eyes on him and whichever role he's in this next game.
Indeed, and of course we have got to point out that Chime Bright is not in this roster. She's been subbed out for now. Spunners is going to step in, unless you just talk about that, because I was looking elsewhere briefly. Nope, good.
Not yet.
Well, that's good. I had a half moment. You looked at your face like, dude, I've just talked about that for the last 20 seconds.
Oh, no, I'm just trying to get some of the weariness out of myself.
It's been a long day. They're asking if we're ready. We ought to just throw that ready in chat, buddy. We're good to go at that point.
So what you're saying is we're holding the whole lobby
We
hostage.
are holding the...
I could potentially sit here for a very... No,
Yes,
I'll put ready in chat. I'm not that person.
Yeah, well, I am that person. I would have sat there and enjoyed it, but I'm also just a bad person. So there you go.
I am well aware. Sorry, what?
But of course, Chime Bright is being subbed out for Spunners. We're assuming Spunners is going to be going a little elsewhere. They look like rather more of a top lane main by the look of the OP.GG. That suggests they're honestly moving elsewhere, especially considering honestly had a bit of a rough game up in that top side, and the Volibear, as Nymera laughed about there, is the first ban out for Seven Deadly Sins.
No more
returning back to the blue side.
See, I should really not take a drink when you finish talking. When you finish talking, my words are completely failing me right now. That's why I shouldn't take a drink.
You're revealing unfortunate secrets that I didn't know about myself. No. I apparently have really degenerate habits, but there we go.
This is what happens after casting in an overheated room for like a good 2-3 hours. It just happens, guys. Just thank you for bearing with us. Thank you for watching the stream as well. Of course, we are live tweeting it out, going through some of the regular things. Syndra was available last game for Seven Deadly Sins. They didn't pick it. They picked up the Zoe instead. It's been banned this time. The Lux, however, has been banned away from INCA Turn. Lots of different changes this game. Wukong's available for one.
Wukong is available, but Volibear, Veigar, and Lux absolutely will not be. They are pretty powerful picks. We've seen the Volibear and the Lux did wonders in the last game for INCA Turn, but this is the game where Seven Deadly Sins need to pull it back together. Been a bit humbled, need to come back in and play a cleaner game, but that Caitlyn Pyke is back, and it did a lot of work in the bot lane.
It did, so this could be Raging Platypus returning back to that support role, and MacMan taking up the AD carry position. We've seen that in 2 games out of the 3 now for MacMan, so not quite in the role order are INCA Turn. They're just playing around with role swaps in Champions Light.
Playing around with role swaps. We're going to see what else is available. Wukong, of course, does come straight out. Ornn as well locked in. That'll be Ice Arrows, probably return to the Wukong. Ornn locked in for the top lane. That's just great engage in general there.
It does. It opens up something like a Mundo back for Hodgson though, because Ornn doesn't punish tank matchups that hard. That being said, it's not going to be those things. It's going to be Mordekaiser locked in. Could be mid lane, could be top lane.
Mordekaiser wasn't banned as a result of where the Volibear and stuff came from, which means that is locked in despite being banned away a lot. You can break composition synergy super easily just by ulting somebody away. That Wukong is your engage. Not anymore. That Ornn tries to hit himself a second part of the Call of the Forge God. Not anymore. He's in the wrong realm. The role way swap. Play a lot of this, things like that kind of thing. And
I'm at the wrong airport.
I think we're seeing another word spelled here. I think it's suddenly we got IMPS to spell. I think we might be getting it'll be an S ban, won't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Simps is there.
I swear, if they win with 2 meme drafts,
Kent W in Simps. That's Oh baby.
Wait,
Alright.
there's an Amumu. There's a legit Amumu
Amumu
ban.
Yeah.
What a time to live in. It's like, Graves is available, Nidlee's available. What about a fella? No. You don't understand. It's Amumu's really hot right now.
Hodgson's Amumu, quite literally, was infernal Amumu.
Yeah,
He was very hot.
He was on fire, some would say.
Indeed.
And that's just a targeted ban to me, to be honest. Nah. did of course play that in game 1. Has had 2 of those main champions taken away now.
What will be the third of the Nico, I suppose, is the last of those major picks that you likes to go towards. See what it will be. I suspect possibly Nico wouldn't be awful. They'd be offer a bit more engaged, some frontline, decent disengage.
Could be anything.
Could be anything, but it's not going to be anything. It's going to be the Mundo. Locked in again, especially considering it is, of course, the Ornn.
It's
currently.
It's not a Gnar. It's not an Aurelia. You're also there's a chance you're not against Honest Sleep as well. We don't know where everyone is going to end up on this team. Of course, we assume Spunners to be a top laner, but it depends who is more.
We've already seen role swaps mid series already, so I'm not going to hold my breath on that one quite yet. Azir is locked in. That's a lot of backline DPS between Kaiser and Azir.
And Azir is very good versus melee champions. He has that wall. If you get on top of him, he can just jump you away. So the Mundo, the Pyke, and the Mordekaiser are potentially able to be disengaged by that champion. Of course, Pyke and Mordekaiser are pretty good versus the Azir too if they ever get on top of him. Same with the Mundo. So it's this kind of push and pull between can the Azir stay safe whilst also putting out damage, and will be kept safer by a Lulu lock-in.
Yeah, how do you keep divers safer? You throw a wild growth on top of them, and that's pretty good news. Of course, there is a Pyke on the other squad side, and Pyke does cut through shields like, well, they're not literally not there for him when he uses his ultimate, so there are ways around that, but there is the Nico lock-in. Decent engage for the side of Inca turn as well here.
So Nico has that route to be able to set up onto that Azir, so lots of playmaking across every lane.
Lots of playmaking, Rage and Platypus like.
Wait, this means we're going to have a weird jungle. It's going to be Pyke jungle.
It could be Mundo jungle.
Mundo jungle, Mordekaiser jungle got some buffs as well.
That's true, it did, didn't it? Obliterate's not bad.
I believe, I'm trying to, I think it's the passive is.
Darkness Rises, yes.
Yeah, I think that's what they buff for. I'll go check it.
Pretty good. It's very good versus Raptors, I'll tell you that.
Very true. Yeah. So potentially that is the thing. Of course, I mean, Pyke jungle has been a thing in the past too, but we just saw Rage Platypus play that in the support role, so that is what I assume is going to be there. Of course, Mundo as
Make
well.
a lot of sense versus the Lulu as well, right? But we'll have to find out. And I hate to call anything as set in stone because we were revealed as last game as that being very much not true. Right. Let's see how this runs out. We've seen both drafts here. It's another standard-ish one here from 7 Deadly Sins. It's another one of the more creative drafts from Inca turn. What are you seeing as win conditions of both, and who are you favouring coming into this game, such as you can?
I'm seeing Lulu with so many options to affect this game. You can Whimsy, you can polymorph so many different people. You can put your ults onto a Wukong diving into the team. You can save your carries with it. You have Ardent Sensor to buff up both of your attack speed carries. Of course, Azir is also that attack speed carry. However, on the other side, Mordekaiser might just take someone out of the fray and make things very uneven. We've seen Hodgson's Mundo, when he does get ahead, be very impactful. There's no Aurelia, no Gnar to punch it this time. Presumably, it's going to be an easier time versus Spunners. I think the Caitlyn might be a bit preyed upon if the Wukong ever gets on top of her, and then, of course, you've got the Ornn ult as well. Things get very gnarly for this backline of Inca turn, but it's not as clean cut as, well, this champion's just going to, wreck face.
And if you do engage and then find yourself suddenly rooted by a Pop Blossom, things potentially get a bit scary when you can start blowing people up. And if certain amounts of damage come down, you start hitting a few good skill shots, and a Pyke comes in and starts cleaning people up who dive too deep. There is risk here still.
Some in too deep and other Sum 41 references.
What other Sum 41 songs are there?
I have no idea. That's just
that's a good one. I did used to know a fair amount of Sum 41, but it's one of those ones where like I know songs and I go, oh yeah, that's
was good.
Fat Lip, that's the other one I'm remembering.
This is now the VL
karaoke another time.
Also worth noting, Sambate, of course, not on an ADC again. Only game 1 was on the ADC.
Yeah.
Then on the support Z, and now onto Mordekaiser in game 4.
Yeah.
Speaking of
likely.
Yeah, and speaking of game 4, of course, this is best of 5 with something on the line. This is a place in Division 3 or retaining your spot in Division 4 in Balance League.
That's the way of thinking about it.
Were to win this game, they move up in the world. and they go to Division 3. They face off, and maybe they lose games in the regular season. Of course, they're coming into the series undefeated, 8-0, 4-0 in best of threes as well, 2-0 every other team in the group stage. This is the first blood that's been drawn on them. Gods can bleed, or so it seems.
Gods can bleed, and we also see whether Gods bleeding makes them a little bit too mortal. We have seen teams before, once they start losing, really get rattled, especially in playoff situations. You win so hard, you forget what it means to lose. They're still 2-0 in this series. They only need the one more win, but there is that looming, niggling fear of the reverse
shadow
sweep.
On the horizon.
Indeed, and we saw the shadow last time was the eclipse, that black hole that Lux with Dark Harvest can be. This time around, it's a little less straight burst, a little bit more tankiness from Inkatan. But game 4, not even game 3. It wasn't just game 3. It wasn't a 3-0 split. This is the 4th in this series. To find out who takes it, we'll find out after we're on to the Rift. Here we are, game 4. We're on the Rift. It's 7 Deadly Sins versus Inkatan. 7 Deadly Sins lead the series 2-1, but they were hoping for a clean 3-0. They thought they had it after what appeared to be a troll draft, a fun draft, a kind of last hurrah. Hodgson had messaged in the Discord saying, this is probably my last game. Not to be at all. We saw what Lux and Volibear could do. It's the same positions again for Inkatan. They've not roll swapped once more. It's the same position they were playing last game, to clarify, of course. But there are some roll swaps in, of course, for 7 Deadly Sins. It'll be honest, Sleeping Shadow Hopper is the bot lane this time around. Craft moving up into the mid lane on the Azir. Ice Arrow is still in the jungle, but Spunners, substitute Spunners taking up that top lane.
And spinning up against him will be Samvete on the Mordekaiser. The Ornn Mordekaiser matchup is one we have seen so much over the last season. Lots of interactions between Ornn's W, the Bellows Breath, and the Call of the Forge God, and the Death Realm, of course, as well. So many ways that matchup can play out. It is actually quite an interesting matchup. I very much like seeing it. I don't play either of those champions, and yet it's very in-depth.
So to clarify, of course, you can invalidate the Death Realm cast by using your Bellows Breath. You become unstoppable. If Mordekaiser gets it off while that's on cooldown, though, you can prevent the Call of the Forge God because the Ram does not follow you into the Shadow Realm.
So, there are two ways it works. Either, the Call of the Forge God, if it is cast before the Death Realm is, then, of course, the Call of the Forge God disappears. It's still in the real Rift. If you cast it just before the thing times out, Hook lands the bot lane.
Keep going. I don't think it's going too much further. Just some damage back onto Platypus.
And Kai'Sa, Lulu, does a whole lot of damage. Hail of Blades alongside the help picks on Lulu just means that the extra auto attacks come out so quickly. But yeah, so if you then cast the Call of the Forge God while you're in the Death Realm, that's kind of the edge case, and then it times out, then it's left within the Death Realm.
Oh my days, that second Bone Skewer just about missing. Decent route here as level 2's hit, and that's Electrocute down, I think, of...
Hail of Blades.
Yeah, Hail of Blades, of course, on the side. I saw the red and went, oh, it's Electrocute, and then I went, no. In the loading screen, we were talking about Hail of Blades and why it's good versus Nico.
Yeah, so as Azir, his auto attacks when he's using soldiers take a little bit of a while to wind up, particularly in the early game when he doesn't have that high attack speed ratio. With Halo Blades, it means that your auto attacks are significantly quicker. And when you're in mid lane, I'm sure a lot of you mid laners out there know, an auto attack is almost the same as, half a second of CC for a lot of champions. So, for instance, if I'm playing Ahri, if I'm playing Lux, if I'm playing Syndra, I can try and time when someone is going to go for a CS and then aim my skill shot for when they stop moving. If you have a faster attack speed, they are stationary for less long. Gank in the top lane, though.
That was a missed charge in from Ornn. The searing charge miss. Ice Arrow comes in. Wukong doesn't find anything, and Sambetti just gets to walk away. Decent chunks here in the bot lane. CS, relatively even, slightly. Perhaps on his sleep here, he's been farming pretty well despite being pushed in.
But there's no pot on the Kai'Sa, and is still half HP, mostly down on mana. Caitlyn has full pots, full mana, full HP. That is a big advantage in terms of the pressure of this lane in the 2v2 to Inca turn.
That's exactly it. Sambetti taken very, very low. Used the heal there on the Indestructible. He's got the Death Rising coming up, but he's got to be very careful. There's a lot of mana in for Spunners. If he gets his cooldowns back, could definitely investigate going for a solo kill. Probably the way I wanted to phrase that. But instead, I decided to bite my tongue. That's a really bad idea. Ow.
Sambetti. So I gotta get that cleaned up. Sambetti actually doesn't have the W now. No shield. That's a good brittle proc. Flashes away from it, knowing the kill potential.
That's a second lane in a row where the early trading does not go in the favor of Sambetti. He's done this a couple times now. Got to be a bit wary. He's sticking around again. This is how he plays, but look where Ice Arrow is. I know we're down at the bot lane right now, and there's a lot of pressure going down there too, but health bars are kind of mostly restored. I'm aware that Hodgson's roaming up. I'm aware that Wukong is on the Krug, so I'm aware that's a half to third HP Mordekaiser with no flash.
So a point to be exploited to see if anything comes of it. Wukong has been seen on the Krug. I don't think you want to walk up to this Sambetti.
Oh, did he got the scraps? Actually does get it in the end. I'm not sure if that was the clone, though. That's unfortunate. Use of the clone means the Trickster escapes. Really useful ability that for Wukong.
It's pretty okay. Of course, it mirrors your abilities now, the Wukong rework, and the more levels you put into that W, so the later on in the game, the more damage percentage that will do. Of course, it only does percentage of the abilities that you do, because otherwise having 2 full damage Wukongs would be really annoying. Of course, it also it mimics your ult, which is a really important thing.
Yeah, and of course, with the ult being 2 casts now, you can get quite a lot of knockups down.
Can do. Yes, you can have potentially 4 spinning Wukongs. 4 spinning Wukongs and a partridge.
It's not the season. Is it here now a partridge? We're a few months. We're in the middle of summer. I'm not singing Christmas songs with you.
Well, I'm just so done with 2020. I'm like, yep, cool, skip the months. It's we're gonna have Halloween, we're gonna have Christmas. I don't know if anyone celebrates Thanksgiving. We're gonna do that too. Hooray, it's Black Friday.
Oh my days! You just stop with this invalidation of holidays for the right time of year. There is a time and a place for everything, Professor Oak. It's an important quote.
What if I want to ride my bike indoors? What if I want to, Sam?
That is how you turn Professor Oak into a Rocket member. That's how you find out that the real boss of Team Rocket is Professor Oak. He's tired of kids doing things like that.
Oh, good trade here actually from it. Oh, an all hit from
level 6 is down. There he goes to be ult now from Spunners. He's going to maybe think about calling a decent obliterate, force the flash out of Spunner. We're going to see what the return is here. Can he get the knock up? Sambetti got to be so careful.
It happened.
Oh my days! And there's the obliterate.
He did like the one thing which shouldn't happen. He times out the call of fortune in the death realm. That almost never happens.
Awful. Oh dear. Well, Spunner's the substitute, does substitute things. And Sambetti after winning ways in the top lane again. Never mind bot lane carries. He doesn't need Kai'Sa pentakills. He needs his bruises. He needs his Volibears. He needs his Mordekaisers.
This is like the Back to the Future where we're going. We won't need ADCs.
And pop stars in the bot lane, it'll be the metalheads in the top lane. We had the power metal of Volibear. It'll be Darkstar, but not quite Pentakill Mordekaiser in the top lane, coming out to a crushing first.
I heard a really good rock cover of pop stars.
It was really good fun.
I heard like a couple of them. Yeah. Things are like when it comes to fan covers like that, obviously the production isn't as high. It's like us on these podcasts. No, the production's very high. But you just love the direction they go in sometimes. Just like that, that kind of that raw talent where you're just like, hey, I appreciate that. You had a good idea.
You had a good idea. That's the way.
What was a bad idea is using Call of Forge code as the death realm times out. Like, I mean, okay, there's only
you either do it straight away or you don't do it at all.
Exactly. Yeah. Otherwise, the times out and the ram is left in that realm. And that would have been potentially a kill steal. We saw how low Sambetti was getting. This almost said Hodgson. Like, no, he's not top lane right now.
You should have listened to Meatloaf. We know bats get out of hell. Rams can't do it.
I don't know why I do this.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Wukong, stop playing.
Oh, that was a decent avoiding there of the route from the Nico.
Ooh.
Decent shove in. Forced a flash out of Raging Platypus, who roamed up, though.
I wonder if he could have E'd there and flash for a stun on step. But of course, he might have forced the flash out of the Azir. Saw that Wukong did head up towards that top lane. Nothing was forced, nothing was given.
And nothing was given. CS lead now accrued in the bot lane for Honest Sleep. Got about a 10 CS lead to their name. But Magman, holding up just well enough, has got himself a BF sword as well, which is good news.
And this is something which I was saying about 7th
Aha.
Sins, actually. Okay, let's see. Aha, what?
Level 6 hit by the Wukong, which
Oh.
I was going to go on. But
Cool. I was
continue.
like, have I missed something? No, so
just praising me more.
It's something which I said about particularly Chimebright, who of course was subbed out in this game, as he's not playing this game, loves to play roaming heavy, high agency support picks, and it allows Honest Sleep to, well, honestly, goes for very self-sufficient AD carries like Xayah, Aphromoo, I feel like I put
Aphromoo, that amazing AD carry, you know,
he was an AD carry.
He was an AD carry way back when.
And stuff like Kaiser as well, which are kind of self-sufficient, have the ult to save themselves in a lot of cases, and it allows the support to go roaming. This is exactly what's happening for Inca Turn.
Oh, here we go. Can we land the Bone Skewer? Just get onto it. That's going to force the flash out of Honestly. There comes the help picks. Going to keep people alive for now.
Sadism was actually propped there from Hodgson. It forced flash, it did. But if the ult out of Hodgson for the move speed, it means that the ultimate now no longer available for the Mundo. I was like, Mordekaiser. I'm like, that's not that champion.
That's not their champion, but Flash.
Who is that champion? Is this Professor Oak thing again?
It is. It's back.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Jigglypuff, viewed from above.
Jigglypuff. It's a wonderful one. So as some context, I used to teach English out in Japan, and I was doing some lessons around some various sentences, and I did basically what's that Pokemon as a game, and
in English?
But I pulled off the Jigglypuff card, the Jigglypuff seen from above, and I cannot begin to tell you how angry people got. I had people walking into the classroom to ask if things were okay, because I had people screaming at me. They were so irritated.
It's like your casting.
Beautiful, exactly. This is where my love of puns really originates from. Is Jigglypuff seen from above?
Okay, wave floor up.
Yeah, it has to be. And the second one does miss. That's gonna be a late
time. Use W.
Oh no, Obliterate coming in, and Spunners does survive because Samvati damn well misses a force flash out because he missed it. The solo kill is going to be avoided, and the Zin running out. Oh no, that was sad to watch. Actually, quite a lot of damage come out. Forced an ult from Kraft, I suppose, at least, but a little overconfident there from the top laner of Inca Turn.
Who is that Pokemon? It's Ghastly. It's a ghost Pokemon because he's dead.
Yeah. The Lavender Tower does turn up, and might be a metal land, but turret shots fired means that the amount of metal is shut down pretty quick. It's not quite Ace of Spades, is it really? Or Mace of Spades.
Mace of Spades. Oh, that's
alas.
And I missed
man.
I missed
still there. The new Mordekaiser was a significantly more interesting champion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, old Mordekaiser was an absolute buggy crap.
My days. Just watching the dragons attempt to do things was entertaining. But
I forgot he had a pet dragon.
He could. It was quite powerful.
Well, he could. If you got an Elder Dragon, I think it could 1v1 Baron.
Yeah,
I believe it 1v1 Baron.
It was really good.
Oh gosh, that's some damage coming down. Wukong on the bot side. Worth noticing, Icera not made anything happen in this game yet. Icera misses.
Yeah, he hasn't made him all that much. Hodgson neither though, but of course Wukong has come up to a bit of a CS lead, and a Mundo that gets to farm is a Mundo that's really happy.
It is. He's got himself the hand. Cinderholt gives himself that bonus HP. I remember back to season 5 when we had Cinderholt top Mundo.
Oh yeah.
So it's not the first time Mundo has been seen with this item. It's been a long time though.
Yes, what's also been a bit of a long time is since the dragons have spawned. And of course, now we've got an Infernal Drake already over to side of Inca Turn because of the way bot lane and stuff has gone. But this Mountain Dragon is now spawned. Hodgson's around it. I'm assuming he's probably going for a solo on that. And as it is back in base, surely an easy one. Might force a teleport out if they want to contest, but Wukong... Oh no, actually I lie. Hodgson did pull away, which is looking for some vision control in the end. But the bot lane moving over for Inca Turn might well see a bit of a contest. There is no teleport for Spunners.
No one walks up.
And no one walks up. Easy Mountain Drake over for Inca Turn, and they'll pick up a second Mountain Drake. And when I called them out at the end of game 2 saying, like, look, you need to play around your vision and your neutral objectives better if you want to contest, 2 games in a row now where they've got a lot of the early objectives. And Hodgson playing that out really well. Going to see with a bit of trading in the mid lane, but decent invisibility means that Kraft does not go for the Shurima Shuffle. Trading in the top side continues. Realize not Leandri's first.
Yes, welcome back to Numeras. build criticism segment.
Go.
Rylai's is not efficient.
Why?
It's not efficient damage. Because you're playing against HP stackers in the Ornn. That's the person you're going to be laning into for the grand majority of this. Leandri's is basically there because you can't hit skill shots. And Mordekaiser has really fat hitboxes. I know we saw him miss one under turret, but Leandri's is so bloody effective. You know, just the passive of the madness giving you that increased damage by 10% after you've been in combat for 5 seconds. That's nuts, because every combat with Ornn is going to last 5 seconds or more. And the burn is really good on the HP stackers. Leandri's, of course, does give you that increased burn when you have the CC, which happens to them afterwards, but when you're hitting your E and stuff like that, you're still going to be getting that extra CC, which does give you that Leandri's. Like that extra burn on it. And then, of course, you can go into something like Nash's Tooth as well, which means you have that extra continued damage. Very, very good at killing tanks. I just think that it might be just something which he's comfortable with, but I don't particularly agree with it.
I think I kind of agree. I mean, Rylai's is eventually a knight you tend to pick up on the Mordekaiser. It's often potentially second. Actually, going to see an engage here. Remember, Pyke is not around at the minute. Get some damage down, but not only the heal burn from MacMan, but it is burnt.
And you see that trade on Spanners there.
No, well, now from Honest, Sleep needs to be really careful. Ooh, okay, the bone skewer does miss, and Raging Platypus turns up back to lane saying, yo, I'm back around. Ice Arrow's around. Wait, going flash. Cyclone, knock up. Can MacMan find the way out? No, going the wrong way.
Yeah, just trying to get the slowdown. I think he knew he was dead. I think maybe you can flash the E, but even that's kind of hard to ask for. It's because the invisibility on the Wukong comes in. And finally, Ice Arrow's on the board. Down in XP, down in CS. Of course, he's down 2 levels to Hodgson even. Finally gets himself something on the board.
These also, however, the wrong side of the map to stop this Rift Herald takes. So what it will actually eventually be is a trade of kill for the side of the Rift Herald instead.
Because he doesn't have much mana here.
No, he doesn't, but Ice Arrow's around doesn't have the ultimate, they've got to remember. And actually, Hodgson's around, really careful, there's a root down. I think they could have thought about going for that.
Without the Cyclone there, that was definitely kill threat.
Well, don't go for it in the end. And in the end, they probably just were wary where everybody else was, I suppose.
Potentially, yes. So we are back to, this is the quietest early game we've had today.
Yeah, it is.
Today. It's, there's 3 kills in 15 minutes. Only would have said like 6 or something. And no sizable leads to be said. It's 200, 300 gold. No one's thrown yet. 2 dragons over to Inca turn for the second time. The reverse sweep. Maybe that mentality getting to them.
All right, Death Rising comes up again. Plates have fallen before the Rift Herald and stuff has been a chance to be used. I think it was taken after that was finished anyway, but that is available. And with the Mordekaiser having that in inventory, got to threaten that Ornn. It's basically, if Ornn ever leaves lane for an extended period of time, that Rift Herald gets summoned and the tower goes. Hell, even if Ornn doesn't leave the lane, the chances are that tower is likely to fall. But with this game being fairly even, it's a 400 gold lead to Inca turn. That's about it. Where are you seeing this game going from this point? Scaling advantage, I'm seeing Kaiser and Azir sounds pretty good to me, but that's not exactly bad scaling on the side of Inca turn either. That Rift Herald is now summoned, going to potentially go for the tower. Kind of thinking about stepping forward. Summoned a little early, won't quite claim that tower's life.
I am basically just waiting for this Mordekaiser to start really hammering on in this 1v1. Once he gets to 2 items, it's going to be really hard to deal with. Having said though, Kaiser been caught out.
And that's not quite the Phantom Undertow down, and Parachute Blood is now in a lot of trouble. Ice Arrow's here, going to think about getting in. That is, of course, Cyclone doesn't get all that much done, though. Good burst, and bye-bye, Ice Arrows. That's what you get for being 2 levels down.
2 levels down. He's a death down as well now. Samvete in a fight in the top lane, kills the tower. Might kill Spanners.
And he's stuck in the death realm as well. It's first tower, and it's not quite the kill, but the death scraps are there to do exactly that. Say hello to the Shadow Realm for me, Spanners.
There are no weak top laners in my deck, Kaiba.
Well, Kaiba needs to go find himself a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon or find some kind of combination because Ice Arrows is falling behind this Mundo who's 40 Sayas. We're seeing this top lane turn up worse and worse for the substitute. Maybe Kraft can find something here. Raging Platypus, but so desperately low. The flash out for Kraft. Can finally get it. No! Just about. Nearly found the way up. Will force the flash out of Kraft, though. But 2-0 on this Azir. This sort of highest elo player on the side of 7 Deadly Sins. He's a transfer from Playtron's Academy, of course. Looking pretty tight in this mid lane right now. Up, CS got 2 kills. That's good news. I think that's just a Leandri's just straight up bought for the Mordekaiser.
So it's what we call a one-shot. You've heard of the one-shot.
Ice Arrows as well. Nearly in a lot of trouble there.
He's absolutely not tanky. He has the Merc Treads, and of course that does work once again against the triple AP top side of Inca turn. He's been chunked out completely and has no ult before this 3rd dragon spawn, though.
All right, we're going to see the teleport in from Spanners. They're going to come and contest the rest of Inca turn turning up as well. Spanners looking around, does not find the charge. Finds themselves in an awful space. Hodgson just dies, not there in time. The dragon is secured by Mordekaiser somehow, some way, and that's a big Pykel. The wild growth is there, double kill for the Azir, doing a lot of work. The Kaiser's in the backline doing a lot of work, flashing forward. That's an exhaust down, but now on his sleep goes down to the ace in the hole, and Shadowhopper desperately running away. It's already 4 dead, and the Mordekaiser can't quite keep up. But 4 for 2 and a stolen Drake. Inca turn are turning this series completely on its head.
What happened to Hodgson? He just kind of stuck on the dragon and then died, and then somehow they got the dragon. I mean, that's next level jungling, knowing that actually you don't need to be the jungler. That's it. Samveti was like, oh yes, I have role swapped. I have role swapped to the jungle position, and therefore I must take the dragon.
This is what you call the power of friendship. We've seen no weak top laners in the deck. It's the power of friendship of Aeos Hodgson there.
Sure it is.
5 head, literally in his name. 5's on there.
Okay, that's where my analysis stops. Brain off. Let's go.
All right, 3-1 and 3 for the Mordekaiser right now is a terror.
Yeah.
Spunners is struggling, is down 40 CS. Going to pick up a bit from this wave. That's something, but the towers have fallen. 3 of them are down now in the wake of this dragon as well. There is, it's 2-0-3 in the mid lane, it's 2-1-1 in the AD carry. Hodgson's up 30 CS in the jungle. This is scary territory for Seven Deadly Sins, who were looking so confident, so good coming into this series. What is happening?
What's happening? I think it's some of it's communication. Some of it's their laning presence. I think that they're just not winning lane, and that doesn't help. Hodgson, I'm not sure you want this one.
No, that's a lot of damage, and the stocks are going down for good reason.
Stonks. There's a lot of posturing still in the mid lane, even though we're focused on the bot lane here.
Yeah, there's a lot of posturing, but Hodgson just heals straight back up. That's what ultimates are for.
That you do.
And yes, he's level 11, pretty close to solo laners. But Azir at 4-1-1 with a haunting guys means he does quite a lot of work versus tanks.
Yeah, it was all right.
Doesn't
have himself the Nash suit yet, which helps him when he's pushing down. And it also just helps him while on people in the death farm, right? He just walks up and you've got that extra on hit on
Sorry, I thought we were talking about Azir for a second. I think he does have the Nash's tooth down, where Mordekaiser does not.
No, Mordekaiser with Leandru's Nash tooth is really nasty. And then actually, if you get your passive with Leandru's policy. Okay.
Honestly, taking a lot of damage. To heal up, big root up. Macman doing a fair amount of work.
Good trap.
Does use the trap really, really well. We were doubting Macman there, but has to use both summons, but escapes with the life.
That's pretty huge,
actually.
man,
Spunner's definitely trouble in the bottom.
That absolutely should have been a kill onto Macman. They used 2 ults to kill him, and they didn't actually get the kills. They didn't use 2 ults to kill him. They used 2 ults to try and kill him. That's how that works.
Samvete has a 2-level lead. Well, just now back down to a 1-level lead after the level up from Spunners, but the Ornn is going to struggle in this lane. He's got himself an upgraded Abyssal Mask. He's probably looking towards something with the Age of Legion Locket, probably.
Wait, you know what's something which I didn't realize before? You can actually get the same upgraded item twice on one. You can go double Abyssal,
really?
double so it doesn't give you the passive twice, but it gives you the stats twice. You're not allowed to do that in Pro Play. Actually,
you're not?
Yeah, it's really fun, but you can't do it in Pro Play.
Why are they not allowed to?
Because if you do build 2 Blade of the Ring King, and you get the upgrade for it, every auto attack does 24% of someone's current HP. Do not try this at home.
So why is that allowed in Solo queue and not in Pro Play?
Because only the true brave people build double Blade of the Rune King on.
I really want to see double Blade of the Rune King on. Well, there you have it, guys. It is time to learn to dual wield Blade of the Rune King, Might of the Rune King.
I'm pretty sure that's how it's worked. I have been told on good confidence that the passive actually doubles up on Might of the Rune King.
Beautiful.
You slap people like a motherfucker.
well, we're going. Mother Flopper.
Yes.
Mother Mundo.
Yes.
Giving no Mundos, because Mundo certainly don't in this game, and Ornn certainly wouldn't if he suddenly decide, fine, I'll do it myself.
It's got
Go for the dual wielding.
That's it. I've run out of anything important to say. This is it.
Oh man. Well, that's something, isn't it?
Oh,
that's
God, it really is.
Wow.
Whew.
Well,
okay, Dragon Soul in a minute. Getting back on topic.
Yeah, okay. I don't really know where to go from. I've just got this image of Ornn like running rampant with like double blades of the ring.
I built you a sword. I built you a sword.
On his sleep, has to use the wild growth there to escape what was effectively a Deathcast Obliterate combo, and that was it. And Samveti just stands still and goes, yeah, buddy, you can do nothing to me. There's still ult available, by the way, that Death Realm. Yeah, I'm walking into 5 people, but it doesn't matter because I can turn it into a 1v1 in seconds.
He's the one-man goalie. He's sat there as the goalkeeper, just like, sure, come through. Like, try it if you want.
Yoon is just being a bit of a nuisance there. Not a nonsense. in with that massive
flash!
death scratch coming in. It's a death realm in. Yes, it is. Who's in that death realm? It's
Lulu.
Shadow Helm. Shadow Hopper's got no ult, remember. It's going to be death for the Lulu. Surely, surely, surely. No. Wait, who's in that death realm? I'm not even sure. I think they're out of it now. Honest Sleep trying to find something, but it's a shutdown, of course, onto both mid laners. That was the Craft who picked up the kill onto Samvete, but it's 3 already dead for 7 Deadly Sins, and Shadow Hopper, despite trying the best to survive the 1 versus 1, will finally fall. 4, I believe, for 2 in the end, and with the Air Drake up, that will be Cloud. So over what a messy, bloody fight.
I like to think of Shadow Hopper's internal monologue being like, Mundo, you can't deal that much damage. I've got shields and everything. And Hodgson goes, ha ha ha, briefcase go bonk.
Yeah, briefcase go bonk, stonks go up, and Inca turn. Clearly been playing the market. Get them done for insider trading, because they absolutely shorted their own stock and are now starting to pay the dividends here. Buy low, and they will looking to sell high, hopefully with a victory in this game. They're certainly out to a good lead. 6,000 gold at 23 minutes.
Okay, so it's worth noting, Pyke, when he levels up his ult, only gets ult CDR. That's all it gets. It doesn't actually get anything towards the functionality. What that means is ult CDR, really important to Pyke. You know what he's just got? 2 Cloud Dragons. That's 20% on the death from below. This is probably the best Cloud Dragon.
Oh my, like, it's fantastic for Nico, fantastic for Mundo, and fantastic for Maud, yeah.
It's good for everyone, but although, so after Caitlyn, I believe it channels after you use Ace in the hole, so it could potentially allow you to ult from a distance and then run somewhere. But it's, most of the time you're using it at the end of the fight, you normally want Cloud's soul, the actual soul effect besides the movement speed, onto someone that needs to use it to start a fight. That's a good
yeah, that's a route onto the Cloud, unfortunately. Isara, they thought they had it with the invisibility, not quite. Called the Forge God was summoned there by Spanners, but that's a swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss, of course he has him, there are many people with large bats this game. We have the Wukong staff, we have the Mordekaiser.
Yeah. This is the problem, right? You see Old Man Orn here, and he's a big folk fan. He likes the Ram Jam, but he's being outdone by the power metal of Samvete, big time in this game.
Ram Jam, the band that did Black Betty.
Quite possibly. I've just made Ram Jam to be a folk song in my head. Maybe it actually is.
I thought Ram Jam was
I should really have understood that is the way it is, but maybe that's true. Maybe they are a classic run back, but that means they're behind the times. Pentakill are the future now.
I used to have it until they changed what it was. Now I'm not even sure what it is.
Simpsons has a quote for all the time. All opportunities not found. Not lock up.
Oh no, Hugo Bonk!
A Hugo Bonk. Hodgson puts a polymorph out, but Mondo's only a cute rabbit for a few moments before he's back to being this hulking businessman extraordinaire. I did land onto Isara, prevented anything looking engaged. And this Wukong has looked significantly more mortal this game.
No, I have to say, this has probably been Isara's least impressive game. I think his that game was really good. His first game as well, also really pretty nice. He's just found himself so blunted this game. He's down 2 levels, down a lot of CS. Sundisk's going to fall in the mid lane, but no one is heading towards the Baron just yet. I think they're going to spot it out, but they're being quite slow to the punch here.
I think they've got a fair amount of damage on it too. That's Raging Platypus there, trying to stop it. Can they get in?
This is dangerous.
Isaros is here. Yoon's coming around, looking to find something. The teleport is now summoned. We're looking at That's a big shuffle! This could turn this game around, but it's a decent Pop Blossom in return, and it's 2 dead despite the shuffle. It looked good. It's not good enough because Samvete is here. He says, welcome back to the Shadow Realm. And it's Oblivion waiting the squad. Actually, Rachel Platypus doesn't get the kill there. Maybe they can turn this around. Kaiser's still strong. She's doing her best, but Baron is down, and that's a big pickup. And actually, the ace in the hole gets the kill. It is now a 3-for-1. Raging Platypus bought enough time, and on his sleep. Oh, it really is obliteration. Never mind Obelisk the Tormentor, because the real obliterate comes out of the Mordekaiser. The Yu-Gi-Oh memes are real because, let's be real, whatever is happening to Kaiba, this whole idea coming in destroys the Grandpa in the first 2 games, comes back in the 3rd, and it is this Exodia that seems to be turning up and turning everything around. You just don't have all the cards in hand right now.
And Samvete, if we're on the topic of classic rock, says, welcome to the jungle. To Spunners takes him into the Death Realm, and he just motorheads through the team, running through, and yeah, now set at 5-2 and 8, taking Spunners down to 0-5 and 2. It's going to be a Baron, it's going to be 2 turrets, and an inhibitor to boot. Absolutely everything going the way of Inca turn.
Oh, man. Well, that's now 10,000 gold at 27 minutes. That is now, well, we'll see once we get back. I want to call items until we see what the buys will be, because I can guarantee you they will be pretty huge. That is a full Zhonya's, the one shot for the Mordekaiser.
And when will this be the metal performance that sends Inca Turn on their Iron Maiden voyage to Division 3?
Well, I was thinking more about, is this the highway to hell over here for the Seven Deadly Sins looking to follow in their namesake, or will it be the stairway to heaven for Inca Turn flying their way up as a bird should do?
And either way, it does seem like Inca Turn, they're making it a comeback. They're back in black. They're back in the saddle.
Man, they keep going. The song references are just available all over the place. Let's check out the timer on the Elder Dragon, though. It'll be up in about a minute 15. Okay. That's probably kind of relatively early, remember, guys, because the dragons were taken pretty much on a dime.
Yeah, absolutely. We keep using that phrase. I'm like, it's
not on a dime. It's
turn on a dime.
It's like on a, like, just taken on, like, on. There's a word for it. There's a phrase for it. It'll come back to me at some point. Either way.
How do you turn a phrase?
How do you turn a phrase? I just need to be a bit careful, because that pike's only a level behind and has got double lethality versus not even a completed black cleaver at 28 minutes of the game.
Worth noting, Spunners has gone for the Abyssal Mask into Lock of the Iron Solari build. That's the highest MR build you can have with those two item upgrades, unless of course you went for the double upgraded Abyssal Mask.
That's versus a 2.5 item Caitlyn.
Well, the only AD you have to worry about is Caitlyn. Pike doesn't do consistent.
Oh no, Spunners, hello buddy. Time to get shutted out once again. The flash in doesn't quite work out, but it forces something, I think, out of other people. Yoon actually in a bit of trouble, but has got his Zhonya's themselves. Not gonna find him. Craft is around it in the Death Realm. That's a big pullback. That's actually avoided. Now at the far edge, that's a decent use of the. Well, never mind. The Shurima Shuffle is just there to divide Craft from the Mordekaiser, but not enough to avoid Oblivion. And we're going to see how much this goes forward. Sanvete under tower. That's a knock-up. But just how tanky is this Mordekaiser? This is going to go and end the game.
United will fail. Divided will fall. The Emperor's Divide comes out and means absolutely diddly squat in Game 4. And you know what this means? We got ourselves Silver Scrapes.
Oh, well, there you have it. The game is over. Inca Turn even it up at 2 and 2 to 7 Deadly Sins. And that reverse sweep, that deal with the devil, is getting a bit tricky, but we'll go to a break very swiftly. I hope you enjoyed those clips as much as we enjoyed that game. We had written off Inca Turn. They looked incoherent. They weren't on the same page. The only page they needed to be on in this one was the one wherever the Shadow Realm was, because Mordekaiser, the Death King, did utterly absurd amounts of damage. I think pretty much double everybody else's in that game.
Also worth noting, Yune is deathless in these last two games.
Wow.
The Lux, the Nico, both working out really well. A stable mid lane. More than stable top lane. We saw those early trades go against Sanvete, but that was literally just it. From that point, it was downhill, and then it got worse. And then the really worst part was right after that. It just kept going downhill. It's just continual downhill slide, and Sanvete ran away with this game.
And for 7 Deadly Sins, alarm bells need to be ringing. They subbed Chimes out, of course, after the last game. Don't know whether that was tilt, don't know what else was going on. They brought in Spunners, who had a rough game in the top lane. We saw come on, I can do this now. Honest Sleep have a rough third game. Spunners had a worse game versus the Mordekaiser. Sanvete, for having role swapped, is really making the side of 7 Deadly Sins sweat.
Yeah, he had the highest DPM of any person in this series so far. 24,000 damage in 29 minutes and 20 seconds. That's some really high numbers. It's also worth noting that Kaiser and Azir pulled their weight this game. It just didn't matter. There was just so much tank on the front line of Inca Turn, and this Lulu couldn't buff up the attack speed carries enough. Attack
speed's all well and good, health bars all well and good, but when you are getting slammed with a mace full of black holes, it turns out it doesn't turn out all that well. To find out how this series concludes, whether upstarts Inca Turn can bring down 7 Deadly Sins, or whether 7DS can recover it. We'll leave you with a Mark Z rendition of Silver Scrapes, and we'll see you after the break.